Hello and welcome to today's video. Today we are here and we're going to be doing something pretty cool. We're making a F1 2022 calendar. Now we already did this for 2021 back in the summer last year. So now we're going to do 2022 and this could be quite fun. So first of all, we got our notes here set up. 25 races is kind of what I'm setting it as just because I think Liberty Media's kind of goal. I know they want to expand, and I think 25 is one of the numbers that I've seen. So we're going to take a look at this. Of course, this is last year's that we made, or last year's for this season, which obviously didn't happen. But yeah, so we're going to do that. We're also going to put more like names of the tracks instead of just the country, because this doesn't really tell you. So here we go. All the grade 1 tracks. This is kind of what we have to pick from. Grade 2 we can't really pick from, but we might do... we'll throw South Africa into it just because that's the only one we can get from there. Because, you know, it's been a thing that I've done a lot on YouTube videos. You know, if it's going to be a global sport, you got to have all the continents. So might as well, you know, get something from Africa in there. That's looks like a cool track. So first, though, we got to get what we're doing. So the first race is going to be the Red Bull Ring. So we're going to start in Austria. Might as well. It worked out pretty good in 2020. I really like that. So I think go back to the Red Bull Ring to start would be quite cool. Now, second race. What do we got here? Okay. So I'm going to try to keep it to one race per country, but there are two races that I want to do in other countries that, you know, are going to have multiples. So just throw that out there. The next track. Well, let's see. What did we do last season? We did the Middle East first. We did a bunch in Europe here, so I think Austria to Hungary is kind of a cool thing. So I don't really want to type this, so I'm just going to copy it. Will it paste properly, though? It will. I think Hungary is a good choice. But we're going to get a track that we didn't have before. Because, again, I made this before really seeing some of the tracks last year. And I didn't really go through and pick necessarily things that weren't on the calendar. I kind of just picked a few that were yeeted off the calendar my previous years, and so said, let's do these again. But we're going to change it up a little bit. So, where is it? Istanbul Park. Turkey was a great race in 2020. I didn't have Turkey on here, did I? From last year? I did not. I think it was a pretty good race. I liked it. But I guess it's not on the calendar for this season. There's not really any rumors of coming back to replace some of the tracks that are rumored to be coming off the calendar for 21. Like some of the street circuits. It's not even rumored of that. So next after Turkey, I think we're going to go to Italy. Okay. But we're going to go to Italy for Imola. This is the actual name, so I'm just going to write Imola. I'm not writing Autodromo, Enzo, Ferrari. I'm not writing that. I'm just writing Imola. And then that's going to be, you can call it whatever you want, San Marino Grand Prix, whatever. What was it last year? Is that the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix? Was that what it was called? I believe it was. Yeah. I mean, you can probably just call it San Marino. I don't really know why they didn't go with that. Or they went with the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix. But they are calling it Emilia Romagna Grand Prix again, apparently. That's interesting. Okay. Guess it's the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix. Guess we're not bringing back the San Marino name. All right. In here, though, after Imola, I think we do the Baku City Circuit. So that's in Azerbaijan. And I think that getting the back-to-back street races would be quite cool, because after that is going to be Monaco. I'm just going to keep Monaco in that spot. It's kind of where it always chills. And I believe last season we picked it to be in that spot for that reason. Monaco's Grade 1 license expired in 2020. Yeah, I don't know how that can be a Grade 1 circuit. But it is Circuit de Monaco. Because the rules don't apply in Monaco. Alright, so there we go. That's so far Red Bull Ring, Angara Ring, Istanbul Park, Imola, Baku City Circuit, and Circuit de Monaco. So again, Monaco we sort of picked same spot on this calendar. And I think that it sort of worked. So after Monaco, I want to go to Bahrain. And that's going to be our Middle Eastern race pretty much out of the way. We're not heading back to the Middle East. But to change it up, we're also doing the outer layout. Because the outer layout was super, super cool for the Secure Grand Prix in 2020. And I liked it better than the inner loop race. Or the inner part of the track. So, again, just for reference, this is the one that they mainly use. Yeah, right here. Used from 2004, 2009, and then since 2012 again. So, basically every year besides 2010, they've used this layout. And then this is the one for the Secure Grand Prix. But this was just awesome, just how fast it was. And just how, like, quick a lap was and all that. It was just really, really cool. Good race. I liked that one. So, after the Bahrain Grand Prix, we're going to where are we going to go? Well, let's look at what we got here. So we're 7 races in. I kind of want to start like here for the tracks that are out of Europe. So we're going to do a Europe like run here pretty much in this gap, because so far it's still been mostly Europe. And as if you can see, like what we did with this one, a lot of the races were keeping like travel to be reduced by like the amount of traveling that's required to go to a place. So we're not going to Australia and then going to the Middle East and then going to somewhere in Europe, and then somewhere in North America, and then somewhere back in like Asia. It's pretty much set. Like Middle East to Europe was from 1 to 14 last calendar I made. Then 15 to 20 was Asia, and then we did Australia, which is below Asia, so it kind of worked. And then we went to North and South America, working down from Canada, and then we went to Mexico, America, Brazil. So it kind of made sense. So again, we're gonna do that same thing with keeping the races in that order. So I think for Europe, our first race in Europe is going to be, or our next race in Europe is going to be Circuit Zandvoort. And that is the Netherlands. I think that that's a good track. The layout of it's pretty cool. It's fun to it's fun to play in the F1 game. And again, from just like the videos and clips that I've seen of the track and the, 1 or 2 laps of the track in a test after it got redesigned with the banked corner and all that stuff, it looks like it's going to be pretty cool. So I'm going to throw that on there. Next, now we have 2 tracks for France. Okay. We got 2 tracks for France. We got this one here, which is Magny-Cours, which was the French Grand Prix from 91 to 2008. That looks pretty cool. And then we got Circuit Paul Ricard, which is absolute, just not a good track. It hosted a lot of F1 races. We see 71, 3, 5, 6, 8, 80, 82 to 83, or 82 and 83, 85 to 90. Like, it did a lot of races, but I think there's a lot of potential with Paul Ricard. I think that there's just an insane amount of layouts, but it's just not a good track. So I'm going to have to go with Circuit Magny-Cours. I've never seen this track race before, but purely just based on the layout, I'm a fan. And I think the cars in 2022 with the new rules are going to drive pretty well on this track. Because obviously right now you lose like, I don't know how much percent of downforce is, like 40, 50%. It's a very high amount. And I think it's supposed to be like 10 with the new cars. So you're going to definitely be able to pull up behind somebody a lot easier with the newer cars in order to make a pass. That's kind of what you need to do. Especially a track like this where there's a lot of like big sweeping turns. You're going to want to be able to stay behind somebody, not lose that momentum behind them. What is this? Oh, absolutely. This is the track that they did the Spanish Grand Prix. Yeah. This is the one Michael Schumacher and Jack Villeneuve hitting each other. Oh yeah, that was a good. I watched that race when they were re-showing old F1 races. This is like Jerez, right? I don't know how you actually say it. But either way, I want this. I think that the current one in Spain, what's it called? Circuit de Barcelona Catalunya it's okay. It's very fun to play in the F1 games, but to watch, it's not fun. What they do the Olympics at that for? Oh, cycling. Yeah, it makes sense. It's not a good track. And I think a lot of it comes down to doing testing at that track. And I think that they've kind of messed that up. I think if you do a race, don't test at the same track. It just doesn't make it good. So, looking now at what we have, we still got to get a few historic races on here that we don't have. Okay. We got to get Silverstone on here. That's an easy one. What did I do? UK, there we go. So, Silverstone, of course. Brilliant track. It's one of those places, the first F1 race ever held. Awesome track. Got to have it on there. You got to have Britain on the calendar. Next, where is it? It's hidden by this thing. Go away. Belgium. Spa. I mean, what are you going to put on there for Belgium? That's easy. Then we're going to come to Italy. We got Monza. We got Monza. I mean, since we're putting the official names, I'm assuming we should do this for Imola. So just putting Imola. There we go. So this is looking like a very good calendar so far. But there are two more tracks that I do want to include on here from Europe. Where are you, Portugal? Algarve is a very awesome track. I think a lot of people really liked this track being on the calendar in 2020. I think it was very, very well received by a lot of people, myself included. I know my brother watched as well. We both watched that race together. I believe that was actually the first F1 race we ever got to watch together. And Algarve is a very, very just fun. I think that had it not been Hamilton ahead by 30 seconds, I think it could have been potential for being a really, really good track. A really, really good race. I think that the start of it was awesome. Hamilton kind of dominated in the end, but nonetheless, it was very, very cool. So we're going to throw Algarve on there. And then we'll get Portugal. Okay. So then we finally come to Germany. The tough decision. Hockenheimring or Nürburgring. This is the one that I was waiting on. That's really why it's 25th. Or not 25th, 15th. More than anything, I still don't know which one I want to pick. Man. Trying to think back to both the races that I watched at it. They were both very good. I think for me, let me just look at their track layouts real quick. Brilliant track layout. Brilliant track layout. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm going to put the Hockenheimring first. Okay. And again, we used 14, so we've used one more. We've also taken Abu Dhabi out and Russia. So we're pretty much at the same spot as we were with this calendar, and we're not having Vietnam on it. So I'm going to leave 16 open to having the race there. And that, if there's an open spot, will be the Nürburgring. I'm not entirely sure how this is all going to cycle out. Now, this is when we go down to our only Grade 2 track, the Kalami Circuit. I believe it doesn't need much to become a Grade 1. Let's just take a look at how this track looks. It looks really cool. I really like this, the front straight here. It looks really nice. You do like a tight little turn. Then you're going to head to some of these corners. Very, very like tight sections here. And I think that it looks like it's a good spot. Again, it did host F1 races. It's 67 to 85 and then 92 and 93. So you could definitely bring F1 back. And again, to be a global racing series, you got to have at least one in each continent. We got Europe, we got Asia, we got North and South America, we got Australia, Oceania, whatever you want to call it. You got to have Africa somewhere in it, and I think that Kalame Circuit is a good choice. I think that's definitely good. So now we head to the Asia portion of this calendar. And we're going to first go to Japan. Now, where is Japan? Which track do I want to use? Suzuka, of course. That's the main one. So we're going to go to Suzuka in Japan. Really no introduction needed for that track. Next, we're going to go to South Korea with the Korea International Circuit. I think that this track is awesome. Just the layout of it. I quite like it. Let's get a look at it real quick. You have your first like little straight into a very kind of sharp turn. It's almost very like Malaysia, like that track. It's similar to that, like in the quick look of it. You go down here, long straight, another long straight. This turn, when I played on F1 2012, I did a video of that. And when I played, like, I was definitely caught up by this turn. Just how sharp it is. Cuts in. This little straight here is pretty good. You go through, like, these sections, and it works. Definitely very bare. They were definitely going to build more up around it, but didn't really do that. Pillion exit, like, it does say it's a bit of a yikes, but nonetheless. Cool track. So. Ooh, looking at this. There's definitely like a need for more races based on what I've got here. So we've done Japan, we've done Korea. What do you do after that? Well, first of all, we're going to figure that out in a second. Because we're going to jump to Canada Circuit, Gilles Villeneuve. Great track in Canada. That's going to be race number 21. Then we're going to do 2 races in America. again, trying to get F1 to be more popular in America. It's hard when there's 2 racing series already established in America. It's hard to be like, hey, come watch our European racing. So, to do that, we're going to do 2 races in America. Wow, I spelled that wrong. Getting ahead of myself with the typing. Alright, so we're going to do Indianapolis and then Circuit of the Americas back to back. And Circuit of the Americas, brilliant track. Obviously the only purpose-built F1 track in America. Absolute, amazing track to watch racing on. But we also have Indianapolis, one of the, if not the most iconic racetrack in America. Indianapolis 500 course, one of the biggest races in America. It's the same day as the Monaco Grand Prix. It's there to compete with that. And then NASCAR does their own thing with the Coke 600 or whatever the hell. But that race is lame. But we got the Indianapolis 500, Monaco Grand Prix, the same day. You do have NASCAR going there, Brickyard 400, trying to do some cool stuff there as well for that. So this is just a track that, works with that. So Brickyard 400 is going to be this layout. Okay, so this is what they use for, what they're going to use for NASCAR. And they used it for the Xfinity Series race. So what is the F1 track layout, though? I don't want this. Ooh, that was Charlotte. That was weird before they did that. This was like a nuclear bomb going off. Can we see layouts? Formula One. So Formula One did this layout. Okay. I don't know. Brickyard 400 layout. I kind of like this layout a little bit more. So we'll just use that one. We'll use the NASCAR one. So Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Again, it did host F1 previously with some issues. Obviously, one of the worst races that ever happened, 2005, at that track. So, just think to go back would be good. Now, we have 2 races left, and I think to finish it off, we have to go to Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez. I think that's just, needed. I think Mexico is a good option. It's a decent track. I think that it's not the most brilliant track I've ever seen, but it's solid. It works. Of course, they're calling it the Mexico City Grand Prix now. So it's going to be a little different. Oh, Leclerc at the pole last year did? Okay. But again, get Sergio Perez and a Red Bull there. Could be nice. So of course it comes to the final race, which is going to just be at Interlagos. Of course it's going to be. There's no other choice. So this is what our calendar looks like so far, but we still do have to figure out race 20, and race 16. So it really comes down to 4 tracks and 2 spots. And one of them is easy choice. Sepang International Circuit. So Malaysia needs to be back on the calendar. That track is absolutely brilliant. It looks amazing. It's quite unpredictable with the weather. It's fun to play in the F1 games. And I just really, really like it. And I want to see it back on the calendar. So, again, this brings us to one thing, first of all. This calendar is based purely on just what I want to see and not what works financially. Of course, we have tracks like Abu Dhabi, and this year we're going to have Saudi Arabia. Oh, man. Can't wait for that one. But this is just purely based on what's good to me, what I think looks awesome. And yeah, this calendar was just me slotting in things like Korea was on it, Malaysia was on it, just tracks that I had never seen but thought looked cool, threw them into it. There you go. Take a race calendar from 21 or 22 to 25. What else did I add to it then? Oh, Germany, I threw onto it. So there you go. I just threw Germany back into it. But where this year we really went into it more, saying this is what we're putting in, this is what we're doing, this is why we're doing it. So it basically comes down to what's going to be in here. So, or we might move this up and put a race in Asia. Who knows? So I guess I want to acknowledge the options. So first of all, the Sochi Autodrome is out. I like the track for playing the F1 games. It's not a brilliant track for racing. So Russia's out. I'm just trying to think of what we have that's on the calendar now. Again, I already said Yas Marina's out. That track is complete trash and one of the worst races that you'll see. Singapore, I like the race. It's a cool spectacle. But having Malaysia and Singapore, they're both very close, obviously on a map. It's Malaysia, then Singapore's at the bottom of it, so it kind of just pulls away from the fans, I think, of those two areas, and it has that's part of why Malaysia wasn't on the calendar, because of Singapore Grand Prix. So I'll take Singapore off for that reason. Oh, we didn't throw Australia in there, did we? Kind of goes against my whole every continent by not having Australia. I don't really like Albert Park, though. I'm not a fan of Albert Park. And plus, Australia's kind of does it really need to be some continent? So I guess that leaves us with the question of India, a second race in Germany, or China. So this is a hard one to say. And again, I technically am going against what I said for every single country being, or every continent being featured, but I just don't like Albert Park. So here's the thing. China, Shanghai International Circuit. It's a cool track. I'm not going to lie. It's pretty good. Then we have the, where is it? Buda International Circuit. Cool little track. I think that one's very, very fun to play in the F1 games. Haven't seen it ever race before. And then that brings us to the final one of the Nürburgring, which has the advantage of the history that the other tracks don't necessarily have. Oh, man. I think I'm going to take China out of it. And then it really comes down to India or Germany. Now, based on this, we already have a race in Germany. We don't have one in India. So, based on that, I'm going to have to put the Buda International Circuit in there. So, looking at this calendar, I'm pretty happy with it. I would have liked to get Australia on it somewhere. I would have liked, because again, now we've put in Africa, we've taken away Oceania as a continent. So, that didn't really work. We've added India, which we didn't have last time. But we also took off China, which I think is a solid track. So I really think, honestly, if we brought this calendar up to like 28, yeah, if we brought it up to 28, I think it would be absolutely brilliant. So I just want to do that just as like a thing. So let me see. I want all this to sort of move. Actually, why'd I copy that? I guess this is why. 28, 27, 26, 25, 24. Because then we could just do this, take that out, that, and that. Then we open that back up to 16. Could almost just do a stop here at Kalami then. Kalami, whatever it's called. And then we do this. So, where is... That's not the right one. This is it. Nürburgring. Nope. Nürburgring. Then we get Shanghai International Circuit. Oh my god. China, and then we're going to finish off in Albert Park Circuit, Australia. So that way we get a race in every single continent and we get all the tracks that we want to see. I would not be opposed to a 28 race F1 season. But I know logistically, travel wise, that would be absolutely insane. 23 is already kind of pushing it. I think 25 is the absolute max. So I know it's not logical, but look at this calendar. Tell me you would not want to see this. This would be like absolutely brilliant. We start off in Austria with the Red Bull Ring, Hungaroring in Hungary, hit up Istanbul Park in Turkey. Then we go to Imola in Italy. Then we hit Azerbaijan and Baku. Get the Monaco Grand Prix in there, the Bahrain Outer Circuit, Zandvoort in the Netherlands, Magny-Cours in France. Then we go to Jerez in Spain. Then we go to Silverstone in the UK. Then we go to Spa, absolute brilliant track. Monza, another absolutely historic track. Like, look at these three. Silverstone, Spa, and Monza back to back to back. Like, absolutely awesome. Then we go to Algarve, Portugal, Hockenheimring, and Nürburgring back to back in Germany. Then we go take on the world. Pretty much all these years, basically Europe, Middle East. One like outlier in it is Bahrain, but all this you're pretty much not traveling that far. Then we go to Buda International Circuit in India, and then we go to Suzuka in Japan. Then we go to South Korea, Sepang in Malaysia, Shanghai, China. Then we go to Albert Park in Australia, which I didn't put the little thing here between. Then we go to Kyalami, South Africa. So then we go to North America with Circuit Gilles Villeneuve in Canada. And then we hit up 2 races back-to-back in America, Indianapolis and Circuit of the Americas. Then we go to the Autodromos Hermanos Rodriguez in Mexico. And then we finish up in the Autodromo Jose Carlos Pace, or Interlagos in Brazil. Absolutely brilliant calendar. I love this. It'd be so cool. Of course, it's never going to happen. There's not enough races in the Middle East to fund the rest of it. But yeah, this is absolutely awesome. I love it. I hope you guys liked it as well. Let me know down below if you thought this is a good calendar or not. And we'll see you guys in the next one.